state money that was available for August but not November. Why would
No,
that be
there's
the
a
case?
reason. Okay. They're not about August.
Hey,
You're so funny.
What are you
You are
talking?
hilarious.
Thanks. I miss my calling as a comedian.
You're funny. So subtle, so dry.
oh, is this from something I missed last night?
Yesterday,
Oh.
apparently.
Oh, okay.
I'm happy.
Did you get your gloves?
Yes, they were still big plus phone and I.
Well, they were in your chair. You left them in.
You didn't touch that portable.
I've got some dry L if you want to put them.
No, I thought you might have been here.
Where do you sit? So you're not hot. What do you mean?
No, right here. Right here.
Yeah, no, no.
Right here.
That I know.
Right there.
I don't need any more gas.
Jeff did a great presentation. Really, I did
Missed
so
it.
many compliments.
You did? Oh,
On what?
even Faust complimented me.
Yeah.
Well, man, I think I
The
screwed
world
up.
is coming to an end.
I think I screwed up.
Big time.
yeah. Oh, thank you. I mentioned you during.
Well, we were trying to see why you
Cover your actions.
Cover your actions, right? Whenever I need her, she's always there.
I've heard that about the show.
Who said that?
I don't think you're a
No, you're not. Oh God, no, not to me. She's not afraid to fight back at me. She is not afraid
You've
of me.
never been a pushover.
No. Not with me. Hell no. Are you kidding? I've had to hold the phone away. I had to dart
But we do have
bullets.
fun every now and
Yeah.
then.
I get the stink eye. I get the stink eye.
Oh, and Jonathan asked me confidential questions.
Yeah.
Where you when you're like this.
I don't put him up to that. I do not put him up to that. I don't.
So the wire sits in my seat.
If it's your seat, we'll let him know.
I take a certain amount of ownership on some of this stuff. But I need to find out on the people on Black Martin that are out. Because I want to go to that neighborhood and say, look, guys, it's fine that you showed for planning. You have to show for ZBA.
Oh.
But
No,
we're trying to discuss the item. Well, actually, it already went through.
Yeah,
You're
so-
okay. You're okay.
All right.
Hi, Carissa. I called you back late. I'm sorry.
No, it's not a problem.
All right. Good to see you.
They're here,
Nice to
they
be
have
seen,
questions.
not viewed.
Inside out?
Inside Out is here.
We'll
Yeah.
see how
All right.
They just had a question.
But right there, you don't. For 6 months. I caught, no, I caught
don't think I did. She gave it,
Melanie has two over there for you. I didn't put it in there.
I'm now calling to order a regular meeting of the City Council, Tuesday, April 8th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Councilman Rogancy,
Here.
Councilwoman McGee. Here. Councilman Dwyer,
Here.
Councilman Boyke,
Present.
Councilman Noonan,
Present.
Councilman Lafferty.
Here.
Moore is present. We have a quorum.
Next item.
Next item is adoption of the consent agenda. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes?
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 5, adoption of the agenda. So moved with discussion.
Support with discussion.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Yes, thank you. Adding as item 11D, extension of medical license, LMK Capital. As item 11E, settlement in the matter of Odisho versus City of Warren et al. As item 11E, wait a minute.
F.
Item 11F is the NEZ certificates, and add as 13D, the revised proposed amended resolution to the ballot proposal as 13D.
Thank you. Mr. Lafferty, discussion?
Yes. Madam Secretary, I'd like to add under council business, status of the intergovernmental agreement with the City of Centerline for use of the Warren Community Center.
That will be item 12B.
B as in boy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any additional discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes?
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 6A, calendar of pending matters. Motion to receive and file.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 7A, approval of the bills of the General Revenue Fund. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes?
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is approval of the bills of the water and sewer systems. So moved.
Support Dwyer.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes?
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is audience participation for agenda items only.
Members of the audience who would like to address the City Council this evening may do so by filling out an audience form located at the right side of the stage. This audience is for agenda items only. You have 3 minutes. There is additional time at the end for general topics. You can speak at both. There's a clock in front. If you can't see it or need help, please let me know so that I can tell you when your time is nearing 3 minutes. First is Lori Harris.
Hi, Lori Harris. I typed it up so I can read it fast. I want to talk about the appointment of Kirk Rain as the head of the building department. I'm not sure how long he has worked for the city of Warren, but I do know that he has been the acting director since just after Lori Stone took office as mayor. I know for a fact that Lori Stone was notified and aware before she won the election of the disrespectful behavior demonstrated by Kirk Rain against a resident of the city. Discussions about accessibility have been ongoing in the city of Warren under the knowledge and the need of Tony Baker. Tony is significantly physically impaired and requires appropriate and legal accessibility to access any services outside of his home. Tony has demonstrated a genuine concern for the accessibility in the city. I've helped Tony by taking pictures and posting the unbelievably approved buildings, parking, sidewalk, drainage grates in the City of Warren political group. Approvals from the planning department have gone against the ADA law, for example, Randazzo's. Certificates of occupancy have been issued to businesses who decide to pour their own ramp that absolutely does not meet the guidelines issued by the ADA. Sidewalk ramps with detectable warning surfaces lead visually impaired persons out into the middle of busy roads like Mound. Innovate Mound, after all that money and time spent, has many sidewalk ramps inappropriately poured and directionally inadequate. Why does it take a citizen to keep pushing the city to do the right things? Why does it take a citizen to make the mayor pay attention? Why let the acting building director ignore the information provided by informed residents for the last year and 4 months and then appoint him to a permanent position? Does a mayor need a review of his disgusting behavior against a resident? Is that the kind of director we need here? How about a director who says, let's sit down and talk about it. Help me understand your concerns. No, instead, like a red Oompa Loompa, he struggled to the podium at a public meeting, throwing heavy books around to prove he had copies of the books, and denigrated a resident and called him names. Hard to know if he was reprimanded at all for that sorrowful, petulant display of hubris. Despite the city being notified of other concerns related to Mr. Rain, claiming occupancy in a house in Warren and claiming a homestead credit while renting the house out, I'm more concerned that we have the same lack of concern for the accessibility and importance of all residents being able to move about in our community and participate in activities. By the way, the ADA law is being updated this month. Does anyone in the building or planning department know what the changes are? What about the council? What about the planning department? We need to really consider tabling this appointment, although I think it's already been officially done, but I am saying this was a terrible decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Joel Vanderlinden.
Joel Valen, longtime Warren resident. It's hard to follow someone that did such a dedicated and well-spoken job as Ms. Harris did. But I second it. There's no way, no shape, no form that Kirk Rames should be in any leadership position, let alone be at a position where he makes fun and calls people names that are disabled. He was the man that called many members of prior council and this council keyboard heroes and told you that you didn't know what the hell you were doing and to leave him alone. Well, I know what I'm doing. I knew what I did before. That was before he was working there and after. Kurt Rames is not the man for ADA. Kurt Rames is not the person for the building department. I'd like to see his licenses, his certificates, and everything else. I want to know why members of the administration feel that they're above the citizens of Warren and don't have to follow the laws and amendments that we have to. Kurt Rames is cheating tax dollars by claiming homestead in a home he doesn't live in. In fact, the old Caracosa house, which he now rents out illegally, he should have been written up for numerous tickets for having no rental agreement, having no investigation or certification on his hot water tank, on his furnace, on his windows. There's not a special clause for being an administrator in the city of Warren. And Mr. Raines should go down with a no vote. Screw the tabling. Just say no. It's like drugs. Just say no. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you. That is the end of audience. Next item.
Thank you. Announcements, Madam Chair.
Yes, Madam Secretary.
Thank you. First off, April is recognized as Autism Awareness Month. I have my button on. A time to honor the unique experiences, strengths, and voices of individuals with autism. It is an opportunity for our community to come together in support of greater understanding, acceptance, and inclusion. Autism is a spectrum, and every individual's journey is different. By raising awareness, promoting compassion, and embracing neurodiversity, we create a more inclusive world where all individuals can thrive, be heard, and celebrated for who they are. This month and every month, let us stand together with individuals on the spectrum and their families, offering support, learning from their stories, and ensuring that our schools, workplaces, and communities are welcoming and accessible to everyone. Together, we can build a more accepting and inclusive future. On another note, I think everyone knows J.D. Marshall. It was almost 10 years ago that his daughter died of cancer, and he's been active in raising funds and helping families with children with cancer. He is having a One Last Laugh show on April 12th at 6 p.m. at the UAW 228 Hall at 39209 Mound Road in Sterling Heights. This benefit is going to help Police Chaplain Jay Jackson. He has been very ill since last October, and the funds raised will help them with their medical bills. So anybody that would like to come out and enjoy this show, there's going to be a concert and a comedy show. Tickets are very reasonable. They are $10 or $75 for a table of 10. I've gone to some of these events, and they're quite enjoyable. Thank you. That's it for me.
Any other announcements?
Yes.
Ms. McGee.
Yes, I wanted to make sure I let everyone know, we usually have people, our constituents that come to our weekly, bi-weekly meeting and wanting to get some resource information. And so I put some cards at the bottom of the stage here that has the 211 number that you can not only give to people in your neighborhood, but also to family and friends who may need resource information, whether it's mental health, whether it's to help with getting health care or home care for your family. You can get that information through the 211 line. So all cards are laid right there at the end of the stage.
Thank you. Any other announcements?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you. Just wanted to wish a happy Easter to all those who celebrate. Our next meeting will be after the holiday, so my family and I celebrate and observe Easter every year. So to all of you, have a blessed Easter with your families. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I have one. I would just like to remind everyone that's here that's from the administration, we will be holding a hard noon on Wednesday before the next meeting. We won't be accepting any late add-ons unless the world is ending. So please keep that in mind when you're preparing for the next meeting. I know things happen, but Ms. Camp is going on vacation. And I want her to just leave and not think about anything, so if you'd please try to do that next time. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other announcements? Okay, moving on. Next item.
Next item, 10A is a public hearing, subdivision and lot split and combination request located on the northeast corner of Cadillac Avenue and MacArthur Boulevard, 3 parcels, lot 2111, 1334, 132, 006, lot 2112, 1334, 132, 005, lot 2113, 1334, 132, 004, to be combined and split into 2 parcels, section 34, 22708, 22716, 22728 MacArthur Boulevard, City of Warren. Mr. Bomarito is the petitioner in this matter.
Is there anyone from the administration that can summarize it for us?
Good evening, Madam President and Council. My name is Ron Worth. I'm the Planning Director. And this particular item, it's going to be, actually someone will come back up after me to talk a little more in detail about it. But this is more the function of a lot split and then a recombination. And they took 3 lots. They're 30-footers. They're more than 30 feet, but they're under 40. And they split one of them and attached those halves to the other lots and created a 49-foot wide lot and a 60-foot wide lot, which they intend to, and that is Tom Bomarito's group, intend to build 2 homes on that. That's the purpose of this particular job here. So. But it was approved, not approved, but recommended for approval by Planning Commission to City Council. If you have any other questions regarding it, glad to answer regarding the split aspect of it. And like I said, I know that this item will be coming up again real quick.
If you could sit tight once we open the public hearing nearby in the event that anyone has any questions. Thank you. And I assume since Mr. Bomarito's petitioner, he's not here, that there isn't. Yeah, so.
Angela.
Angela, do you want to speak at all by chance? No? Okay. Okay. I will open the public hearing. Is there anyone from the audience who would like to speak on the matter? Ms. Harris?
This is a great opportunity to table this. Or maybe I'm misunderstanding, it's just a public hearing, but how interesting that nobody here with the information that we really need, community development. She's not speaking on it. You've got Mr. Worth telling you what it's about. Oh, now they're gonna both stand up. So I still do get some time to talk. I think, you know, Mr. Bomarito, if he made this petition, he needed to be here or have someone here that knew what they were going to talk about. And so I'm just going to use my time to say that as they, you know, sit behind me so they can tell me that I'm wrong. We have too many of these things that happen in the city where nobody really knows what's going on. So, thank you.
You're welcome. I will close the public hearing and turn it over to council for additional action. All of us were fairly clear, Ms. Harris, on what Mr. Worth was stating, and Angela can speak if we have questions now that we've closed the public hearing.
Madam Chair? Motion to approve. The property is being split so that we can build houses on it, CDBG homes, correct?
Do I have the support?
Support
Thank
Lafferty.
you.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and I just will remind council, 11F came in a little late today, but this item is also tied to these properties, these
Yeah,
certificates.
and there's another item to award the bid of the contract
so
to
they're
build the
kinda
houses on this
they're-
agenda as well.
Yeah,
Thank
they're a
you.
little split up, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
No.
Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is a public hearing to receive comments on the proposed 2025-2026 action plan application for CDBG, home, and HOPWA funds.
Someone from the city can summarize? Ms. Tarasenko?
Good evening, members of council. This is to receive comment on our our proposed plan that's been published, so members of the public can make comments and address council. This is not to take action, this is just to receive public comment.
Thank you. And there is no petitioner in this instance. Mary, is there?
No, the
No.
individual ones just asked them to come forward.
Anyone, so do I want to open the public hearing first? Public hearing and ask for comment, yeah, okay, just making sure. I will open the public hearing, and if there's anyone from the audience who would like to speak on the matter. Sure, if you leave it for Ms. Camp, she can distribute.
Good evening. My name is Dory Vasquez Nolan. I'm the CEO of Care House, the Macomb County Child Advocacy Center. We have offices located in Mount Clemens and a satellite office located in the city of Warren. Care House is the only agency in Macomb County that offers comprehensive services for child victims of sexual abuse, physical abuse, and for children who may have been a witness to a violent act, as well as their non-offending family members. Our goals are to minimize the trauma for the child victim and provide coping skills, advocacy, and case management to get them back on the road to healing. Care House serves as a beacon of hope for child victims of abuse, providing them with a safe place where their voices can be heard, their needs can be met. And in our space, kids can talk about anything that might be troubling them. And when a detective brings an alleged victim to Care House, they're making a whole array of services available to the child, teen, or vulnerable adult. They'll not only receive a forensically sound, developmentally appropriate forensic interview by a highly trained forensic interviewer, but their family will also receive information, advocacy, support, and services to guide them through this time of profound stress and crisis. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and as the designated counsel in Macomb County for the Michigan Children's Trust Fund, Care House believes that many cases of child abuse and neglect are not a bad parent problem, but often a lack of support and resources problem. Providing parents with the tools and support that they need is key to preventing child abuse, and our Prevention and Family Resource Center programming provides that investment in families before a crisis occurs. Families are never charged for the services that they receive at Care House, and we provide services to all referred children and their non-offending family. I'm also very proud to report that according to our most recent independent financial audit, 89 cents of every dollar that comes to Care House is specifically devoted to our programming for children and families in our community. Since our opening in 1996, we've conducted over 11,400 forensic interviews, with more than 1,800 of those children being residents of Warren. Last year in 2024, we conducted 620 forensic interviews for 111 Warren children, and so far this year, we've already done interviews for 29 Warren children. You may know that Care House opened a satellite center almost 8 years ago to bring our services to the southern part of the community. Do I have to stop at 3 minutes?
You're okay.
Okay,
There's
good.
no time
Thank
limit.
you. Since then, we have expanded our footprint in Warren twice, now having approximately 5,000 square feet to better serve families from Warren and other southern communities. In October of 2022, we launched a Family Resource Center or our FRC as we call it. We have those services at both locations. And our FRCs are parent-driven, welcoming and supportive hubs for families in our community who are seeking resources, and not just families that are going through a child abuse investigation. Our FRCs offer family pantries, emergency financial support, parent leadership development and mentoring, positive parenting, and back to school and holiday drives, assistance accessing other community resources, and ongoing case management. Last year, our Family Resource Centers served over 400 families. And none of what we do would have been possible without the support of the City of Warren. We're very proud to have been your partner serving families to help them thrive. We respectfully request consideration for funding this upcoming year in the amount of $48,000 to support services for 80 qualifying Warren children and their families. Of course, we would be grateful for any amount that you were able to allocate to us. For more information about CareHouse, we invite you to follow us on Facebook or visit our website at www.mccarehouse.org. Thanks for your time. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Madam Chair, could we suspend the rules and allow a question of the speaker?
Sure.
Please.
Support to suspend the rules.
All in favor?
Aye.
Are any of the families or children that you provide services for, are they there at times as a result of opioid use?
Yes, that is one of the reasons that a detective or CPS worker would bring a child to CareHouse for an interview with, you know, that type of situation going on in the home.
Right. Is there any way that you could provide me with a percentage?
I can get that to you.
I would like to have that.
Yes.
When you have time?
Okay. Ms. Moore, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I would appreciate that
Sure.
very much. Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you. Any other folks willing to speak during the public hearing?
Good evening. My name is Sherry Warnock, and I'm a volunteer coordinator at Interfaith Volunteer Caregivers. The number of older adults in Macomb County is expected to increase by more than 90% by 2040. This group of seniors needs extra support due to changes that come with aging, chronic health conditions, or disabilities. At the same time, family structures are changing, often leaving seniors with nobody nearby to help. For over 30 years, our nonprofit organization has been providing free basic assistance to hundreds of frail, older, and physically challenged adults, helping them remain safely in their homes with the help of hundreds of volunteers. This assistance helps with transportation, chores, respite breaks, errands, and reducing loneliness. These opportunities provide fulfilling experiences for those who wish to volunteer, as well as support for those who need it. The CDBG Safe at Home project of IVC is part of our larger chore and repair program for older and disabled adults. The project was developed to provide additional chore and repair services in communities that allocate funding for this purpose. Safe at Home allows us to assist low to moderate income seniors with indoor and outdoor chores, minor home repairs, and routine housekeeping. We identify individuals who cannot do these tasks on their own and have limited resources and prioritize those with the greatest need. We are requesting CDBG funds to increase the number of low-income citizens we can reach to grow our program, as well as to coordinate the volunteers who do these services. IVC provides over 20,000 hours of help over all of its services to nearly 500 people in need each year. Although we have yet to be granted CDBG funding from Warren, we have still been able to fill chore requests using funding from other communities. We were able to complete 41 tasks in Warren in the 23-24 funding year, and we project at least as many projects in the upcoming year. And we are confident that the addition of CDBG funding would allow us to assist many more residents of Warren with this much-needed service. Examples of help through this project could be replacing locks, washing windows, raking leaves, routine housekeeping, installing smoke alarms. There are lots of things our volunteers do, and once they get to a house, they often go above and beyond and do other things that need fixing while they're there. We know that many great nonprofits have asked for Warren's limited funding, so any dollar amount would help us assist the Warren residents who need the services that our volunteers provide. Thank you to the City Council for your consideration for adjusting the current proposed funding breakdown to give us some of those funds. If anyone here tonight knows of any seniors who might use our assistance or are looking to give the gift of volunteering, please let us know by calling our office or visiting our website at ivcinfo.org. Can I answer any questions for you?
Madam Chair? I would just give you a little information. If you're dealing with any folks that live in Warren and you need a smoke detector, our fire department will install them
Okay.
free of charge. They'll provide the smoke detectors, and if they still have them at the time, CO detectors as well. So that is available to anybody that lives in Warren.
Great.
So keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else who would like to speak at the public hearing? Okay, I will close the public hearing and turn it over to council for action.
No action tonight. It's
Oh.
just public hearing.
Thank you. Motion to receive and file.
So moved.
Support anyone?
Support? I don't think we need to do that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Better safe than sorry, I suppose. Next item.
Next item is 11A, request to award contract ITBW 1349 to demolish one single-family home located at 22716 MacArthur and construct two new single-family homes at 22728 MacArthur and 22708 MacArthur. Consideration and adoption of a resolution. So moved.
Support Lafferty. Discussion.
Discussion, Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you. Through the chair to Ms. Tereschenko.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. And it's really just to clarify, we're accepting the bid from Mando, correct?
Yes.
And that's for $651,000 and change. And they're constructing two homes.
Yes. They're
Okay.
demolishing one and constructing two.
All right. And is it expected that there will be a loss on the homes based on the amount spent on construction versus the anticipated sale of the home?
Yes.
Do you have an anticipated amount on the loss?
We're not exactly sure. When the house is completely done, we'll get it professionally appraised, and then we list it at that sales price. We have two that are under construction in that neighborhood right now, and they're close to completion, and we'll get an appraisal on those soon, so we'll have a better estimate at that time.
Historically, do you have a percentage, perhaps?
Probably close to 20%, I would say.
All right. I know we've talked about this before, that, you know, it's great to construct brand-new homes. Unfortunately, the cost of the materials, the labor, everything with the rise in inflation is making the business case less sound, and there's no way to avoid a loss in these areas. I know that the monies are specific. They have to be spent a certain way, and once again, I know Ms. Moore and I have been sitting on committee, Ms. Rogansey, and about taking the ARPA funds that we've received and spreading them out so that they're helping multiple homes, existing homes, before they get to a point that we have to demo them. I would love to be able to change the rules on these and take that 20% loss, the amount of parcels that we could impact with that 20% could go so much further.
We do have an owner-occupied rehab program where we do, help homeowners make their home improvements. Unfortunately, the house that we are demolishing was a tax-reverted property that is just too far gone. There was a lot of homes that were demolished several years ago, and so our goal is to help rebuild that housing stock with this program here. There's not a lot of development that's occurring in South Warren, and we'd love to help build up the neighborhoods. We actually built another house that's similar to this one less than a block away, and we're helping to increase those values in those neighborhoods, and we're hoping that that gap will close with the more development that we make.
Absolutely. And I'm not voting to build a home in two homes in South Warren. I'm voting to build 2 new homes in the southern section of the city, but not South Warren. That has been, and it's not directed at you in particular. I'm not certain how that ended up on Google Maps. The designation of South Warren continues to be an IRC. We're one city. We don't have a South Warren Council. We don't have a North Warren Council. We have one city that we represent. And so I'm glad to see that we are continuing to invest in all areas of our city. And this is one great example of reinvestment, reinvention, and hopefully the spark that creates more investment in the homes around it. So thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 11B, resolution increasing retainer for Kavanaugh Casada PLC for legal defense of contractor claim in City of Warren Project WWTP 18006C wastewater treatment plant, 9 Mile Road pump station. Consideration and adoption of a resolution. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 11C, which was tabled on 2/25/2025. Request of the Communications Department to waive the bid process and award inside-out design and development for furnishing developer and website maintenance services for the City of Warren's external website for a 2-year period in an annual amount not to exceed $15,000. Consideration and adoption of a resolution. Motion to remove from the table.
Support to remove from the table.
All in favor to remove from the table?
Aye.
Aye.
Item is removed from the table.
Motion to approve with discussion.
Support.
Discussion, Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you. So when we tabled this item 2 months ago now, there were several questions that I had posed relative to the contract and the resolution that we were asked to approve. And Ms. Michaels was kind enough to write up an amendment, essentially, to the original bid. It is all-encompassing in all of the services, and you should have the agreement. It was brought to you by Ms. Camp. The points that I want to call out under recitals, item 4, that this is an amendment for 2 additional years of service. Under the mutual promises, number 2, the website acknowledgement provides us an entire archival and backup copy of the entire site, the content, and the web application. Number 3 outlines that we retain all rights to the content and the objects within the domain. And if there's any database work, that we own not only the content or the structure, but the content as well. We amended the number of meetings at a minimum. Since they're billing us quarterly, I asked that Inside Out agree to at least once a quarter for a meeting with the Communications Department. They're not limited to that number. They can meet as often as necessary, but they must have at least one meeting every quarter. Mr. Noonan, you brought up the question on how to terminate the contract. Termination is now in the agreements. It's 30 days written notice. Payment is not to exceed 30 grand, and the rest of it is acceptable. And the resolution that is there is no resolution to this other than approving the agreement as is, as written, and submitted to us tonight. So I have no other comments on that other than to thank Ms. Michaels for your diligence in making the corrections. Thank you.
Madam President.
Mr. Lafferty, are you finished?
I'm finished.
Thank you. Ms. McGee and then Mr. Noonan.
I wanted to know, the quarterly meeting, who would that involve?
That would be meetings between Inside Out and the Communications Department.
Oh, the communication, okay.
So it's between the supplier and the clients, essentially.
Mr.
I
Noonan?
yield.
Okay. As part of the Americans with Disability Transition Plan, we were considering in the last meeting making the website more ADA compliant. And I think that it's a good thing that we're so far planning on sticking with this company, because they would be helping to do that work. And I just wanted to throw that in there because for many people, they would depend on reading lips if they saw a video, and if there are images, then if there's text which describes the image, then they can have devices, for instance, that can read that off to them if they can hear, and so forth. There are a lot of different aspects to that, but I think it's going to be a good thing to have this company continue to do it for that reason. Thank you.
Anything further?
Madam Chair?
Ms. Moore?
Mr. Lafferty, is this
Yes.
the company we met with? Over the
Yes,
ADA?
a couple
Years ago?
3 years ago, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Lafferty, was this also, and you may have mentioned it and I missed it, the sole source language that was in there originally? Is that still in there?
The sole source and
Or
Ms.
is that
Michaels.
just justified, I guess, because that was the concern that I had brought up?
Yeah, the sole source comes from the original bids that we're continuing to use the original bidder on the work. They've been doing the work all of this time, and it makes sense unless we decide to go in a completely different direction with a 2-year renewal, perhaps with the work that Mr. Noonan was talking about. If we see that it's not meeting our needs, we're limited to a 2-year contract. But the thing is, with the termination clause, if we determine at any time with 30 days notice, we can withdraw from the contract. That's the language now in this contract. That gives us the ability, 30 days, we're unhappy with this, and we can go back out to bid and construct a new bid package, new requirements, new specifications, and ask for bidders at that time.
Thank you.
So we have all of the protections that we need now.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes?
Sorry, Mr. Lafferty,
Yes.
then Ms. Moore.
Yes?
Mr. Dwyer,
Yes.
Mr. Boyke,
Yes.
Mr. Noonan,
Yes?
Ms. McGee,
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 11D, requesting a 60-day license renewal for the AU and medical licenses for LMK Capital LLC at 24102 Wall Street, Warren, Michigan, 48089. Motion to approve.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes?
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 11E, approve the settlement in the matter of Odisho versus City of Warren et al. Pursuant to the terms discussed in closed session 4725. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes?
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 11F, approval of the neighborhood enterprise zone certificates for 22708 and 22728 MacArthur. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 12A, Council Secretary Mindy Moore, discussion in-ray e-cigarette disposal. So moved with discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Thank you. I had a conversation with a resident a couple of weeks ago who explained quite a journey he went through from the time he found an e-cigarette left on his front lawn. He did not know what to do with that item. He called around, nobody accepted them. He went to a smoke shop, they didn't accept them. He finally, through all of this, he spent days trying to figure this out, and he did go to one smoke shop, and they said they would take it for $5, and I'm sure that they took the $5 and threw it in the garbage. I don't know if everyone knows this, but these e-cigarettes have lithium batteries in them, and they are not supposed to be put in the regular trash or recycling. I did find out that the marijuana dispensaries that are in other cities, they do accept the, I'll call them a vape pen for lack of a better term. They do take them in, many of those do. But none of the smoke shops we found in the area. I did speak with Mr. Mazzarelli, and he was gonna try to put something together, and if call Mr. Mazzarelli up.
Good evening, Council. Yeah, after we discussed it, I asked Mr. Campbell to do kind of a deep dive and to see what we could find out. There are receptacles that we can buy. They're kind of expensive. They're about $100 a piece that they make. There's no legislation in Michigan that requires any kind of recycling. We did find there's a state legislator that has put up a bill that is a use of life bill. Like, so if you sell something, you're responsible for the use of life for it. So that it requires these smoke shops and weed shops to take these items back. We would like to say maybe that we could meet with Mr. Schroeder and maybe have him talk to your lobbyist, and maybe we could see if we can get some traction behind that and see if we can get some support. We're not really sure where else we can recycle them, other than we had a few other options where we used to recycle lithium batteries and household batteries. Those options kind of dried up on us. They're really super expensive to ship these things out of state, which are the only recycling places that take them is out of state. So it is possible, but there's an added cost. We are working up to see how much it would cost us, but the number of these things that are out there is just it's remarkable. I mean, the one that you see on the ground outside. But we see the need for it, and we'd like to help you come up with a solution for this.
Right. Yeah, because it's not just the batteries, it's the nicotine that's left.
And those lithium batteries are dangerous too. You run them over with a lawnmower and they explode, you know, and people, you know, we see them on the grass all the time, so.
Right.
So,
Okay. Well,
but yeah.
I'll report back.
All right, thanks.
To a resident I have empowered.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mazzarelli, appreciate it.
Madam President, can I?
Mr. Noonan.
Yeah, perhaps they could be stored in a shed, kind of like nuclear reactor waste is stored on the shores of our lakes until we get a permanent repository, maybe inside of a mountain. At any rate, that's what we're doing with our nuclear storage. Maybe we could add it to DTE's reactor, right? Oh well. I mean, it's like stuff that stays dangerous for a long time. Maybe DTE could help us out with it. I'm being somewhat facetious, but not totally. Dave, would you like to say something?
Actually, Mr. Kika just informed me, during our hazardous waste collection, they will take those small lithium-ion batteries, so we could do a collection at, you know, possibly at sanitation, and maybe even if we get some of these small containers, put them throughout the city, collect them, and have them go out on our hazardous waste day. We're paying for the service anyway, so maybe it's something we could add to their residents.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you. Anything
I'm
further?
done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Do you want a specific motion?
No, I think we know the direction we're going. I just wanted the resident to know that we're actually doing something.
Okay, next item.
Next item is 12B, Councilman Jonathan Lafferty. Discussion and write intergovernmental agreement between the City of Centerline and the City of Warren, Warren Community Center. Motion to approve.
Support Lafferty with discussion.
Discussion, Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you. I was contacted by a member of the City Council in the City of Centerline asking for a status. It appears that City of Warren the administration has not responded recently after repeated inquiries, and so I said that I would bring that up this evening, asking for the administration to reach out to our, what are they called, the heart of Metro Detroit, as their sign says, to our city, within the city, and ask them to provide a status to them. So, and for those of you who may not know, there was a previous agreement with the city of Centerline for their residents to use the facility here at the Warren Community Center at a reduced rate. It was a subsidized rate. Am I saying that correctly, Mr. Mazzarelli? And that agreement expired. It was intentionally not renewed by the city of Centerline. It was not on behalf of Warren. And I guess the fervor has grown in the city of Centerline. People want to come back. They want to use it, and they would like to see if the opportunity to have a discount for use of the center is achievable. So just asking for council to send a resolution to the administration, asking them to respond to the city of Centerline and make this a priority and understand what that agreement could look like as far as a discount or subsidized rate to the residents in the city of Centerline.
Madam President?
Mr. Noonan.
Councilman of Centerline Peter Herensky had talked to me about something, and I thought it was the idea was to share services. And I was wondering, do you know of any services that Centerline would have to offer in return to Warren? You don't know? I don't know.
None that I would be aware of.
I didn't know of any either. I like their library, and they have some nice parks, but I think in general it's a good idea. He also mentioned the possibility of having a meet and greet kind of dinner between the two city councils at some point. I thought that was a good idea, but anyways, a little bit divergent from your point, but we normally don't talk about Centerline, so thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Lafferty, do you just want a motion to send this to the administration?
Yes, just a motion to send to the administration, ask for a response, and a report back to council.
Madam Chair, just to bring out, we do cooperate with Centerline. We have mutual aid with Centerline, police and fire, and so we do share services.
Yeah.
That way.
Madam Chair, it would be my expectation that any intergovernmental agreement would come to council for approval, consideration and approval, or consideration for adoption, I should say.
Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13A, request of the Sanitation Division for an increase in budgeted appropriations in the amount of $42,042 to cover costs to purchase 832 additional 95-gallon trash, recycling, and compost bar carts. Consideration and adoption of a resolution. So moved.
Support Dwyer.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13B, request of the Sanitation Division to purchase bar carts and lids through the Sourcewell Cooperative Contract 41521 CEI in the amount of $42,042. Consideration and adoption of a resolution. So moved.
Support Dwyer.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is notice of the appointment of Kirk Rain to the position of Director of Building and Safety Engineering. Apologies, Mr. Rain's name is misspelled on this. It's R-E-H-N.
Is there a motion or support?
Motion to approve?
Support, anyone?
Support.
Support, Ms. McGee. Discussion, anyone?
Madam Chair.
Ms. Moore.
In the last term, as many people will remember, many of the political appointees of the mayor were weaponized and came in front of council and were very disrespectful. And, you know, I think most council people can take that. It takes a lot for us to get here, and I've been doing this for 14 years, a long time, as an elected official. And, but I won't tolerate anyone being disrespectful to the residents. And at one point, it was Mr. Rain at the time was not an appointee, he was a union employee. I just want to be clear that I do empower residents when they call me. They give me information. I don't live on their street. I don't drive on the streets they drive every day. I don't go to the same places. They give me information. And we all gain information from residents. I didn't know e-cigarettes were a problem. I've never found one on my front lawn, but apparently they are. And they were to this gentleman, and he thought it was important enough to spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to dispose of them. There are other residents that do. For instance, Tony Baker. We've all been talking about Tony Baker and hearing from Tony Baker for a couple of days now. We all know Tony is severely disabled. He is in pain every day. Today was probably a bad day because it's cold and rainy and wet. And he wants the world to be better for those that are disabled. I have learned so much from him, from trying not to say the word handicapped and trying to incorporate disabled into my everyday language. And I am not got it all yet, but I'm really, really trying. Everything I do, I try to keep in mind, are we following those guidelines that make it easier for people with disabilities to live in this world of ours? And I have talked to Mr. Mazzarelli. Just to go back a little bit, we sort of gave the mayor, certainly I did, the benefit of the doubt on one of the early appointments she made. And it was someone that had fit the, she did things where I thought were illegal at the time and very disrespectful to council. We gave the mayor the benefit of the doubt, but that person has continued that behavior, unfortunately. I have talked to Mr. Mazzarelli. He understands my concerns. I talked to him a long time. I was very upfront with how I felt, and he has assured me that things will not be like they were before, and that residents won't be treated badly. We hope council won't be either. Some cities, appointees get disciplined if they're disrespectful to council with a strong mayor. Lansing does that. And I am taking Mr. Mazzarelli at his word. I have never known not to take you for your word, Mr. Mazzarelli. We are very honest with each other. If I tell you where I'm at, I'm there or I'm not. And so I just, want to say that. I am going to probably be a no vote because of Tony Baker. He is my friend. He's taught me a lot, and he feels he has been wronged, and my vote is going to be in support of Tony. So that's where I'm at with that.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Madam President.
Ms. McGee.
Thank you. I also talked to Tony Baker. He's part of the Disability Commission, and also he says he's stepping down now.
Oh, he's never been on.
Oh, he's never?
He's
Okay.
asked to be on it, but he's not been asked.
Yeah, he said he's not gonna no longer longer attend. And so I asked him about his concerns, and I also went to Dave Mazzarelli to make a decision for myself. And he assured me that, that he would go through the proper training, the ADA laws training, and make sure that he understands zoning as he should, and about the ADA rules and how to understand them and follow them through. And he also will go through conflict resolution training that include anger management, and that's the same type of training that the Warren Police had used in their department. And he understands the codes book also. So that kind of made assure me that it would get better. I do not like the fact that the disrespect towards our constituents, especially Tony Baker, as well as our city council. But that would be enough for me to move forward. And I will be doing follow-up.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Madam President,
Mr. Noonan.
I also called Director Mazzarelli and got that information about how they're all, the whole department that does the ticketing and so forth is going to be taking that training. I am concerned about the proper implementation going along. If we're, if buildings, if parking lots need to come before the Planning Commission to be striped, then they need to be striped correctly. I understand they could be in different colors. There are a lot of different facets to this. In order to be, you know, for disabled people, the signage has to be correct, and the thing about the directional, I don't know the name for it. When you're going down the ramp of a curb, if you're a disabled person, you should be able to tell exactly what direction you should go in going across, and it seems that maybe they're not right. The way they've been put in the city so far. If so, then I hope that in the future they will be done correctly. And I don't want anyone who works for the city to be treated badly verbally either. So some of these things go both ways. When I spoke to Kirk, which I did, I had some sympathy with him. I used to have a customer service job selling books. Usually that would go well, but you'd get 9 complaints and to 1 compliment. But he assured me that pretty much when you're ticketing people, you don't get any compliments. I was going to compliment you on that, right? And it seemed that he had a fairly well-balanced mind. I wasn't on the council. If he was attacking the council inappropriately and shaming us as an employee, I would say that would be totally wrong. If he does that again, it'll be very irksome indeed. So I hope if he did that, I don't know. That's what I'm getting from your conversation. And I plan on voting for him as my motion indicated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Noonan.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Boyke.
I spoke with Mr. Baker today. We exchanged our feelings and thoughts on the process. Even though we did not agree on some of it, we did talk. He made a statement to me that kind of caught me off guard. And basically he says, I'm going to come out everybody that votes yes on this in the next election. I'm not worried about that. I take this seat, I vote for what's right for the city of Warren. I may make mistakes, but I'll live with those mistakes. But that's what the conversation was with me. Now, as far as the applicant here, I don't know if there's a lot of allegations that were made. I don't know if the administration has done a full investigation background or not. We have not been provided with it. But I do have the application here, and it says read carefully before signing.
And it says, I further understand that any misrepresentation, falsification, or omission of pertinent facts will subject me to discharge at any time. And there's other language in there too that he has to comply with. He signed it willingly and freely, so if the facts are there, I think that, you know, he knows that someone can make a complaint and be investigated. Evidently, he feels he's right. And I just wanted to bring these facts out, and I'll wait for vote. Yield back.
Anything further?
Madam President,
Mr. Lafferty?
I echo the concerns of Ms. Moore. My first term on council, I represented Mr. Baker as his district representative. I've spent a considerable amount of time with his wife Dorothy and Mr. Baker in their home. He's been through thick and thin on ADA, and as I referred to him, the champion of ADA in Warren. He is the reason that we have a 5-year transition plan that was approved by the previous council. There is that plan, and the accompanying ordinance was dubbed the Tony Baker Bill. That's how we passed it. And it was meant with every single intention that it was going to be fulfilled. And although at the time I had zero confidence that the previous administration was going to take heed of anything the previous council put forward, that bill signaled the intention of the city leadership at the time of that council, that we heard him loud and clear and that we recognized that the city needed to make changes. Now, this is in no way discounting the work that Mr. Mazzarelli and his team has done to make changes at city buildings, but there is still much more work to be done. The city has a 5-year transition plan. It involved going out to every single business. It involved extensive review of accessibility throughout the city. It involved extensive review of our zoning ordinances. And as Mr. Newton mentioned, the parking lots, we talked about that several times already this term to ensure that things are being done properly. Some of the changes that have been made at our city buildings are minor, but they make a big difference to people that have assistive walking devices, wheelchairs, and the sort, to ensure that they have the same access that you and I enjoy. I was on the council when those comments were made by Mr. Rain. I too took personal offense to the attack on Mr. Baker. An attack on any resident by any member of the administration, by any member of any employee of the city is unacceptable by any stretch. And while I too trust the judgment of Mr. Mazzarelli, my vote will reflect, and before I get to that, clarification on the motion that was made. What is the motion being made? What kind of motion is it, Madam Chair?
This is to not confirm. This
No.
is just to accept.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. It's not an approval, it's receive and file. Thank you.
It's a denial.
This is a motion to receive and file. All right.
Okay.
So, because it changes the rules based on the way the motion is made. With a receive and file motion, I will be voting no in reflection of previous experience and the indication that we have a significant amount of work to be done and a watchful eye from this council on the appointments by this administration. Thank you.
Madam President?
Mr. Noonan.
I'd like to ask Director Mazzarelli to step forward, please.
Good evening again.
Thank you so much. I'm getting the impression that not everyone on the council is confident that Kirk Rain, if appointed to be the building director, would be a strong advocate for the work that needs to be done in the transition plan. I'd like to give you a chance to respond to that. He's not here tonight, is he?
No, I asked him to stay. I told him to stay away.
Okay.
Not to come tonight. As Mr. Casasante and Mr. Kika can confirm, I hold my appointees to a very high standard, as well as all of their appointees. If there is no screwing around, there is no disrespect to residents, to council, I don't accept that in my public service department at all. We just got rid of 2 employees last month for an altercation they got into with residents. That's unacceptable. I will not tolerate it. I will not put up with it. And like I explained to I spoke with almost every single one of you today, or this week at least. I'm a huge advocate in positive training. You know, I have all of my inspectors, including myself and Mr. Rain included, are going through conflict resolution training. We've included now the rest of City Hall. Everybody is asked to join because they see that as a positive. We know that Mr. Rain is tops in his field. He was recognized by the members of his field last year as the chief inspector. He won the best inspector in his field. You know, he's constantly going to classes and updating his knowledge. He's my go-to guy when I have questions. If you know, and to further your question earlier, you'd made a point about things going through planning. Planning is somewhat different than building. Planning and building work hand in hand, but they're 2 separate departments. So he does advise though now with those parking lots, and he fully accepts that responsibility, and he looks forward to moving forward with it. He's been very helpful in our ADA plan, and we're just now, like you witnessed in the last month's meeting, we're getting to the point where we're putting out those big bids, and we're going to need his help moving forward. He's been nothing but helpful, and he's helping us to create a great team in that building department, and we're getting past the hurdles that we've had created for us.
That is my main concern. I think that his having made a mistake has definitely been made clear to him through all this. But whether he can be a strong champion for the transition plan is really, if he can't, then we should really be finding someone else.
In the last year, he's shown me nothing but being a strong leader in that department.
What would be indicators on the ground of things that have happened because of that?
Well, we've set the plan to have the inspectors go out and stick with jobs. Bless you. We stick with jobs, and we were having issues before with the inspectors bouncing around, and you would have a different inspector go out and all this. So you would have, your electrical work would have 3 different inspectors come out to it. Now when you have a job, he has 1 inspector stay with the whole job. He's implemented a bunch of different safety protocols with these guys. We make sure that everybody has their badges. We've implemented new dress codes. We've implemented new training facility or protocols.
Excuse me. Would you mind speaking a little bit more into the microphone?
Sorry.
I have some problems with my hearing.
Sorry. We've implemented new training protocols. You know, he was just made acting director or not too long ago, so he's starting to move forward now with these plans. I think right now he's given him the ability to make these changes in his department, and I've looked at his plan moving forward, and he's going to be a great asset to the city.
Okay, so those were all about the building department. It didn't click to me that any of those were about the disabilities transition plan.
So he's just the part of the disabilities transition plan, just like all their other departments. So you know, we consult with him, but he's not the acting ADA person. Our ADA person right now would be, as actually Caitlin, the attorney that we met with. She's the person that we would go through. Everything goes through her. But everybody has their part on that panel. We have myself, There's public service, there's the engineers, there's Parks and Rec, there's a building department, everybody has their part. It's not one specific person that's putting that charge through.
I'm going to be personally very disheartened if he doesn't come through as a very strong proponent in favor of getting that work for the transition plan done correctly.
Oh,
it's going to be very
absolutely will be.
embarrassing for me personally.
No, absolutely he will be.
So, okay, thank you. I yield.
Madam
Okay,
Chair,
Mr. Boyke, and then we're calling the question.
I just want to follow up what Councilman Lafferty said. So the residents understand, I'm not attacking Mr. Baker. In fact, I support him in his ADA. I went to quite a few demonstrations. We talked about funds coming into the city, and he is a pioneer. A lot of things would not have been done if it wasn't for him pushing for him. And I just want to make that record. I do have a question for you, Mr. Mazzarelli. The appropriation, and I'm keeping hearing different stories. I haven't got a reply from Washington yet. We received a $1 million appropriation from Congressman James' office, and that's way some time ago. What's the status of that?
So, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that it's got to go through the Community Development Office because it's weird how the federal funding has to go through. There has to be a land study, and then I'm not, to be honest, I'm not the person to ask on that. I'm not versed in the legalities of that money. We are planning on spending it. I know there's projects initiated for it, but community development just left,
From what
so.
I understand, all we have to do is submit a plan.
Yes,
and
we're
receive the money.
in the works on
But no
that.
plan has ever been presented as of yet.
No, we're in the
Pretty
works
close
on
to
that.
it.
We've been in contact with his office on that.
And we didn't lose the money with any
No.
clawback or anything. It's still earmarked.
Correct,
That's
we have
correct?
not lost the money.
All right, because that's a long time coming already. And those are the things that get residents riled up, you know.
We have several.
Ms. Harris
I'm sorry.
is with the signs here all the time. If we want to see improvements.
We have
we're not
several
seeing them.
huge jobs that are being bid out right now. We had to have engineering firms that, look through the jobs and make sure that we're, had the bid specs correctly. We want to make sure that we're good wards of the citizens' tax dollars. We don't want to just go through and spend it. We wanted to make sure that we
So we could
assessed.
expect something pretty soon on that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
There's a lot of stuff going through the bid process right now.
I'd just like to say one thing quick, if I may.
Then
Yeah.
we're calling the question. Quickly.
Okay, yeah, so Caitlin Murphy would be the right person to direct many of these questions probably too.
Yeah, she would have those answers for you.
Because, for instance, it wasn't just straightforward to get the money, like John James just didn't give the city a check.
Yeah, the big check.
They
the big check didn't
had to
work.
go and look for what he was talking about and hunt it down, and they did.
It's not that, it's above my pay grade, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I yield.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Call the question, motion to receive and file, Mr. Noonan,
Yes?
Ms. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty,
No.
Mr. Dwyer,
Yes.
Mr. Boyke,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
No.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13D, proposed amended resolution to authorize ballot proposal to renew levy of 4.6176 mils for police and fire safety protection millage and request for immediate effect. So moved.
Support Lafferty with discussion.
Discussion, Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you. Through the chair to Mr. Schroeder, could you kindly take us through the change?
We received this from Ms. Michaels. If I could ask for an assist from Ms. Michaels.
Of course.
If that's permitted. We received this just before. I did review it, and I did speak to Ms. Michaels on the way in tonight, and I know she's had a very busy day. She's had long meetings with the Attorney General's office on Microsoft Teams dealing with this issue. And I think in the second paragraph, you're explaining that it's slightly modified, the numbers have changed, and the ballot question format has changed where the question's at the beginning. Is that correct?
That is correct, Mr. Schroeder, yes.
Did I filibuster
Counsel.
long enough for you to get to the microphone? Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. That's my understanding, so.
Okay. So we're
Yes.
simply making a change in the mathematics?
That's part of it, yes. March 11th, council approved the original resolution to approve a ballot proposal at the August 5th election. It went through an informal, very rigorous informal review with the Attorney General office. They looked at the question, they just wanted the question in the ballot proposal to only be in the beginning, not at the end. And sometimes whoever reviews has varying opinions. So it's a fluid process every time we seek the Attorney General review. It's fluid, it changes. But the office was very, very professional with us. They did want council to adopt, even with that small change, they wanted council to formally adopt the new resolution. In presenting it to council, I reached out to the budget director, and evidently, when it was first presented, she had the estimated tax rate. At this time, she had the actual tax rate, so there's a slight deviation. And that's reflected in the ballot proposal. In the letter, it's just a change from 4.6083 to 4.6176 mils. And that actually increases the amount of revenues that would be raised in the first year. So there's a slight increase, and the ballot proposal ballot question now contains the actual amounts that will be in effect July of 2025.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember we talked about if a material change came through that we would be required to approve it, but this is a change of about $40,000 in the first year.
Yes, but it's a
And
change to an amount, and the
It
Attorney
is.
General did request that council formally adopt any change.
And I have no objection to that. It's
Thank you.
nice to have the transparency for something like this. And the structure, the question will just be at the top
Correct.
as opposed to the bottom.
Correct, yes. And if I may add one thing, one of the components of the informal review is to make sure that our millages do not exceed the legal limit, because otherwise we'd have to seek a vote of the people to raise our legal limit. And through the process, we were able to give reassurances that we are still below the 20 mil limitation.
I have no other questions. Thank you, Ms. Michaels.
Thank you.
Mr. Schroeder, thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes?
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is audience for general topics.
Members of the audience who would like to address the council this evening may do so by filling out an audience form on the right side of the stage. You have 3 minutes. This is for general topics, and if you need assistance with the clock, let me know. First up is Jim Campbell.
Council members do have photographs that Mr. Campbell sent, if
Thank
you'll
you.
look on your computers.
By email?
Yes.
Correct. Hello.
Hello.
Mr. Campbell, this is Trinity Church, is that right?
Correct. Trinity Lutheran Church.
Thank you.
I guess I don't really know where to start here. I went to a meeting and they suggested that I come and talk to you guys. I guess I should start out that there was a house on the street behind me that wanted to be a duplex. And all of us were notified and we could come and say yay, nay. They opened up a homeless shelter, literally between my property line and it is a lawnmower and a half. None of us were notified when this opened. There are 100+ individuals,
every single day. My home is a nightmare. I have had knives drawn on me, bullets shot at me, fighting out in the road. You see the pictures. That's just a sample. They're not allowed on the church property until 6 p.m. Where do you think they're going to be? My house is the closest to it. I have a 40-foot long carport. They hide under it for shelter. I get it. I feel for them. This is my home. I can't even sell my home because of this. They look in my windows. There's a video that I shared with Mary. I am laying in my bed. That is what I hear outside my bedroom window. I am living in a nightmare. I am a senior. I am disabled. I contacted the mayor, not to disrespect her. She was very disrespectful to me. She told me that the city of Warren has a legal obligation for that to be there, but no legal obligation for my safety. Then she proceeded to go into telling me, which had nothing to do with it, about how because of her deceased mother, she became a school teacher. And I asked her, why are we talking about this? Ma'am, this... And then I see on the news where the Maybell Library, the same problems that are going on there. It's closed down, and then now you have a security guard there with them. I have to, every single day, pick up syringes out of my yard, liquor bottles. It's crazy. My home is a nightmare. And I even told that the assessors up there, if you want to give me what you have, what it's assessed at, it's yours, baby. Live there. They suggested that I come and ask you guys to please put up a barrier between us, so I don't have to listen to that. I hired somebody to put a...
Mr. Campbell, you're
Yes.
at 3 minutes. At the end of audience, if you have a seat, we can respond.
Madam
to
Chair,
you.
could we suspend the rules?
Sure.
Please, and let...
Sure.
Because we're all very interested in this. This has been a topic and something I'm
Support.
concerned about.
Yeah.
Just give them additional time.
Do you want me to go
I'll-
sit down?
Nope, hold on one second. Motion to
Suspend the
suspend the
rules.
rules. All in
Support.
favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Rules are suspended. Go ahead and continue.
I hired somebody to put up like a vinyl along the fence. They have tore it all up. I don't know what to do. I really don't. I can't sleep at night. I mean, you see some of the pictures. They're all in my front yard. I'm worried, what if they fall? I'm going to be liable for it. They literally go through my yard. I'll give you an example. I opened up the back door. The man that you see standing there peeing on the church was leaned up against my garage, defecating on the ground in my backyard. The one that you see with the scarf on him, he pees on my house all the time. How would you like to live like that? I take pride in my home. I don't care if I live in Southbourne, I take pride in it. I bought that home with knowing there was a church next door to me, not a homeless shelter. I can't sell my home. I've tried 2 times now. As soon as they find out it's a homeless shelter, no. What would you guys do? Even the police, when I call them, they tell me to talk to the mayor. I told the police that she says that she has a legal obligation to keep this open. The police tell me, I didn't realize Warren was a sanctuary city. I get it that we have a homeless problem, I do. But this is my home. Respect my home. If you will close down a public library, why won't you help me? I don't know what else to say.
Thank you. We see what options are available in our response, but also we'll see what we can do. You are 100% correct. None of us would want to live that way, and
No.
certainly we live in the city. We would not want that to be in our backyard as well. So
The
please
man
know
in
that
the
we.
wheelchair that was out there, I thought he was dead. I went out there, he pulled a knife on me.
Yeah, if you hang out for a moment, we'll certainly get some information and see what our next steps might be.
I would appreciate it, I really would. Like I said, I've been in Warren my whole life. Never have I dealt with anything like this.
And thank you so much for providing the pictures. It's super helpful.
Alrighty. Do you want me to wait?
Yes, please. Next is Lori Harris.
I'm giving them to you.
Mr. Campbell, I am so sorry that you're going through that, and I am so sorry. I apologize on behalf of the residents that the mayor treated you that way. That's despicable. I want to talk about the Kirk Rain thing. I understand it was a receive and file. I do think that what got ignored is the fact that he has been the acting director for 1 year and 4 months, and he has not been a proponent of the ADA transition plan. And if we're not seeing any change in just the basics, just access to buildings, which is parking and doorways, what are we gonna see different? And there's no way to measure it. There's no way to measure it. So you've approved, essentially, let the mayor appoint him with promises of all the classes they'll take, but I didn't hear anything in the classes about the ADA law. I heard conflict resolution, anger management, nothing about ADA law. So a couple of the other things I want to talk about is in terms of appointments. It's really interesting that we still have a convicted felon on the Housing Commission who also owes a lot of money to the city. Now, how does that keep happening? Why is that not changed? So I'm calling on Mayor Stone to do something about this, because this is unacceptable. I also wanted to know, I remember in September that there were 2 homes that were really ready to be demolished, and Mr. Lizette came, and there was going to be a date certain to March 26th, I believe, that there should be an update on these homes. So I drove past the home on Prospect and the home on Helmick, and I'm wondering, did the council get any update on those homes and what the progress is? If they've, so that was 6 months, date certain. I do recall that. And I just feel discouraged that a gentleman like this has to come and tell you this and feel so hopeless. And my situation is certainly not like his. But I've experienced essentially being told, as a homeowner, you can't control what happens next door to you. And in a lot of different ways. And it's really demoralizing when you have no control over your own property and what happens. And I have 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, thank you.
Thank you. That's the end of audience. Next item.
Council response to audience, Madam Chair.
Ms. Moore.
Thank you. Mr. Campbell, I feel terrible about your situation. Last year, a former councilman and I drove through the neighborhood, and we knocked on a couple doors to see how everybody felt about that. Nobody was home that day. I didn't go back. I should have. I apologize for that. right. I know that, and I've, you know, I've heard from other police departments that when they bring people there, residents are yelling, you know, don't bring your people here. We have enough problem. I don't think this shelter should be in a neighborhood. I think it should be, we should do something with our zoning to change it so that they are, excuse me, just let me talk for a minute, and then we'll get to you, okay? After we're done, because I'm gonna try to figure out maybe something we can do. I think we should do something with zoning, that would maybe cure some of the problems we're having with businesses in the area. Businesses have problems too, because when the residents come out of the Trinity, then they go to the businesses on Van Dyke, and I know they're cold. I don't want anybody to be cold, but you have a home here. You are owed quiet enjoyment of your home, and you're not getting that, and that is a violation to me of you. And maybe we can do a zoning, something that, you know, places are not in a neighborhood for one, or close to businesses that will be impacted. I don't know, I had heard earlier that, that there were gonna be changes, that every day, this is what I heard, that every day they go up and down the street and pick up the trash out of, that's what we were told. We were told that. And I will tell you, we have a lot of police and fire calls there, and the fire department has to be accompanied by the police when they make a call there because of the rough treatment the fire department encounters by people that are there. I think it's a problem, and I know, and we all feel for you up here, and you know, what's happened 2 years in a row now, all of a sudden it's frigid weather, and no plans in advance have been made to deal with these problems, and we were out of options because we can't let people freeze on our streets. And that was, we couldn't do much, we didn't have any options. We can't afford as a city to house everyone and to provide the services they need. We have to, this administration has got to come up with a plan, and we'll help anything we need to do legislatively, zoning, or whatever, but I agree. I 100%, 1,000% agree with you. Now, are residents still, are people still coming there as much? Are the Porta-Johns still there? I did come to his house. Right, right. Yeah, something's got to be done. They've got to be held, whoever's running that needs to be held accountable for anybody that's off of their property.
Yeah.
Right, trespassing on your property. Well, maybe somebody in authority more than you or I, but maybe somebody in this city with authority needs to go over there and read them the Riot Act and say, guess what? Or we're gonna close you down tomorrow if you're not taking care of this place.
Yeah.
So let's make a motion to send a letter to the administration that, you know, we can send these pictures, maybe say, oh, Mr. Schroeder.
This situation is a public nuisance. Our Code of Ordinances addresses public nuisances in Chapter 21, and the situation allows for either the city attorney or even the prosecuting attorney of the county, if the city attorney doesn't want to act, to enforce this. The proper starting point, given that the city attorney has authority under the public nuisance to bring an action, would be to ask the city attorney to, with the city attorney's office, we have an acting city attorney, to send a letter describing that there's a public nuisance on the property, and ask them to meet and come up with a plan to eliminate this public nuisance within a certain period of time, or face an action where they will be ordered to either shut down or, you know, control this nuisance. It's civil. It's very difficult for the police department because there's criminal activity occurring, certainly, you know, urinating and defecating on property is a crime. There's other minor crimes happening, but overall, it's a civil issue where it's a public nuisance affecting not just the quiet enjoyment of the property, but it's his health, safety, and comfort as well. So this is a classic public nuisance. The city attorney's office should be engaged. Ms. Michaels was here. She did have to leave. She texted me that she had to leave. But my recommendation would be to ask the legal department, which is responsible to the council, to send a letter and to ask for a meeting, to have this abated, to give them an opportunity to fix it within a short period of time, and if they don't fix it, then to face possible consequences under the public nuisance. That would be my recommendation.
What he said.
So.
What he said. I forget how good you are.
Well, no, it's just.
I get caught up in my own words.
No, it's just that this is certainly a violation here, and so.
Yeah, I just got a message from the person I went to the neighborhood with, and he said, that's the guy that had that really nice house. We appreciate that. We do. So let's do what Mr. Schroeder said.
A motion?
So I'll make a motion to adopt Mr. Schroeder's suggestion, and if we could send that over to the
Is
attorney's
there
office?
a support for additional
I will
discussion?
support that. And Madam Chair,
Uh-huh.
Madam Secretary, you were going down the road with the zoning ordinances, and to include a review of applicable zoning ordinances that would apply to this. This started off as a religious institution. Brick walls separating a parcel from a residential area this is no different. This has a chain link fence between the residential zone and the zone for a religious institution. It started off as a religious institution, and it has taken on the services that have grown beyond what it was initially intended for. If we were presented with a use case like this, there would be walls and separation of the two districts, of the two zones. Those would have been taken into account. This is kind of matured over time, and that's how we're finding ourselves in this situation. So if you could include an amendment to include the zoning? Mr. Schroeder.
And if I recall correctly, when council met in conference room B in the middle of winter, and the zoning issue was discussed, I believe the council permitted some homeless shelter funding to move forward on the condition that the administration would bring back some zoning ordinance amendments that would address that. So I think that has already been requested by the council. I don't know if have those amendments come back?
Of course.
Oh.
So let's do that again.
Okay.
Mr.
Thank you.
Noonan, you had, Mr. Lafferty, anything further?
That is all.
Mr.
Yeah,
Noonan?
I hope that the idea of some responsible person with a lot of authority going and challenging their leadership to say, this needs to be fixed or else. I don't know exactly how, how would you assure that happens? So, some specific person is accountable for doing that, and also I think someone should be responsible for getting back to our dear citizen on a regular basis to make sure that he's okay, because this is not okay to have people pulling knives on a disabled senior citizen. This is a black mark on our city. And it has to be put in very serious language, I think.
I had a question.
I yield.
Thank you. Ms. McGee?
Have they put any signage around there? Signage such as, stay off property, this is a private property? Okay, I'm talking about on your property. Are there any signage? You do have. Oh, that's what I needed to know. We need to.
Thank you.
Because it sounds as if he needs some immediate assistance and some type of barrier need to be put up immediately. Yeah, you need to have a barrier.
Anything further, Ms. McGee?
I yield.
Mr. Noonan?
Yeah, if one person is coming forward, there are probably 10 more that are faced with similar situations. So this is a neighborhood problem. We really need to have a strong response here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Noonan. Any additional discussion?
Madam President?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, in regards to Mr. Campbell, yeah, nobody should be subjected to what you're subjected to with all the events you mentioned tonight to us. I know you've went to the mayor's office, tried to seek some sort of resolution there, but what I would suggest, if you really want to get things done, is go to police administration, explain to them once again the situation and all the events that have occurred there. I mean, the knife itself, you're talking about felonious assault. And I think if you go to the administration, lay it out, what's been going on, maybe give them time frames, and again, the specifics. I know they're shorthanded. We're like 21 down right now, soon to be close to 25 down. But I think they would probably certainly be able to do some sort of selective enforcement in that area and give more special attention to the immediate area and everything around you, because they're trespassing. I mean, that's a violation right there, not to mention the disorderly conduct with the urinating in public and. Well, that's why I suggest go to the police, contact police administration, let them know what's going on, the magnitude of the problem there, and I can't see any reason why they certainly wouldn't address this. Sure, the use of narcotics, you know, paraphernalia. I mean, you're looking at, you know, all kinds of different violations there, certainly.
I can CC the police on the result.
Thank you.
And Madam Chair, we do have a pretty high-ranking official here from the police department, a captain, and I'm sure he will relay the information he heard tonight. Right, Captain? Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you. I will call the question, Mr. Lafferty.
One addition, Madam Chair, we have not only this shelter, but we have two others operating in the city. It may be wise to include the review of what's happening here and apply it to all three to ensure that they're all covered under the same rules.
I think that's great. Thank you. I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item?
So, adjourned. Motion to adjourn.
Support Dwyer.
All in favor?